God damn it.
What happened?
All of that just to be told there's no sound.
Oh, is there not? Uh-oh.
Oh.
I forgot to unclick the frickin' mic buttons.
Wop wop.
It's never a day without some kind of my-caused technical difficulties on this channel. Okay, so...
Do it again.
Yeah, time to recompose
top.
myself, and it'd be helpful if I wrote the stuff down, because then it'd be easier to kind of review what I was saying. So, let's kind of kick the music up to a little bit more vibrant levels. Alright, so... Thank you for tuning in to Foxfyre Studios, where you are about to watch us play the second half of the Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Starter Set. If you are watching us live on Twitch, get ready for an awesome show. And if you are watching later on YouTube or on Video On Demand on Twitch, and you regret your life choices, you can come and join us on Saturdays at 12 p.m. PST, which is GMT minus 7, to catch us live. Yeah, so it is the 4th of July here at this point for our American friends and players, so happy national birthday to you folks. I'm glad I could get two of you here to play a game with us while everyone else is getting ready to go celebrating and firing off the fireworks. Just remember, as vampires, we're not too keen on fireworks because... Is Rot Shrek still a thing?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, because Rot Shrek the Fear of Fire. Fire is bad. Vampires go up like a torch. Alright, so, yeah, so those of you who were able to tune in last week but want a little reminder, we started the game with our 3 players. In this case, it was Rain the Gangrel, Jay the Malkavian, and Sam the Tremere, waking up in a freezer. They had a few corpses of cattle. I think they were chopped up, hanging from meat hooks, as well as a dead human hanging as well. Jay got a little ravenous and kind of went to town on the dead hanging guy, but sadly, since it was dead blood, she wasn't able to get too much off of him. The characters noticed that they were being monitored by the video cameras that were in the ceiling. Rain started to take an issue with this whole setup, and he ended up kicking the door down. Well, not kicking, but body checking the door down in one go, which is kind of cool. You don't fuck with a gangrel.
Actually, an angry one.
Yep. Yeah. What the hell am I doing here? Alright, so after that, they made it out into the kitchen where they met an old cousin of Jay's. They had a little bit of a reunion after a few years. He wasn't able to provide them with too much information as to what was going on there. They were as much of a surprise to him as he was a surprise to them. And I suspect that if Jay wasn't there, something bad may have happened to him, so he should be thanking his lucky stars. So then from there, they made it out onto the street to realize that they were in a restaurant that's been closed down for a few months. It's a posh little place under renovations or something. And they had a chance to talk to each other quickly, and then they had another visitor stop by for a little chat. So that was Charlotte the Toreador, and yes, that is my character that I have on the Laurel by Night Discord server for any RP stuff that we want to do. And this is close to her 300th birthday this year, so happy birthday to my character. She was able to give a little bit of information to the fledgling vampires on their new condition. What they were, kind of what they had to deal with now. Did any of you 3 want to give a rundown as to what you learned during that part of the last session?
Jay learned that her livelihood of playing poker and having the perfect poker face is at stake because now she can't keep her mouth shut.
At stake.
I didn't even realize I did that.
Vampire puns, best puns. And why was that? Why is it at stake for her?
So she is a Malkavian, and part of her bane is that she says whatever's on her mind at any given time. So,
appropriate or otherwise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not much was said regarding the Tremere, I don't think.
Yeah, Sam didn't learn anything. He doesn't know what clan he is. Which frustrates him, because all he wants to do is learn things.
Yeah, and then Rain was just growly.
Yeah, super angry and then became super moody upon learning of what he is, or at least some of what he is.
Yeah. Yeah, so then from there, they got into the limo. I think it was a limo. It was a nice car at the very least. No, we said SUV, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
The default car for vampire games.
Yeah. It's a big black SUV. They were driving around, and then they were given a little bit more information as to what they need to do, what they need to watch out for. And then they were starting to be followed, which was discovered by, I think it was the driver or Charlotte. So at that point, they let the players out in front of a hotel for them to cut their teeth on feeding. So from there, we moved through, we got the characters fed, and they were able to do that without killing anybody, which is pretty impressive for their first time. Yeah, give yourself a hand. You haven't murdered anybody yet. You are still decent, somewhat people. Vampire people. Yeah, so they got fed, and then they were picked up by, what was it, Jackie, I think? Who was to take them to, what was that place called? The Red Star, I think? Let's pull up the book here. Yes, the Red Star, where they were going to hunker down for the night because the sun was coming, and vampires and sun don't mix for too long.
No. Things get heated up.
Yeah. Yeah, so on the way to the Red Star, they were starting to get followed yet again. And this time, there were revelations that two of the characters already had guns in their back pockets. And there was a case underneath one of the seats which had a gun for Jay. No, sorry, for Sam.
For Sam.
Yeah, because, yeah, the former army personnel was the only one that did not have a gun.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
Right.
Yeah.
As much sense as Jay, the professional gamer, being really good with guns, because she plays a lot of Counter-Strike.
I miss that game.
It's still around.
Well, is it though?
Yeah.
Like, I'm
play it
talking
a lot.
like beta 7.
Yeah.
After it left beta, it went downhill.
I think it's better than it's ever been.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know, maybe.
Competitive-wise. I'm really competitive, so.
Oh, I used to be good, but maybe I'll have to download it and see what it's like nowadays. Because then I can ridicule it with knowledge now.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so, and that kind of brings us to where we are now. Any questions from the players or anybody who is watching live in chat?
None from me.
Cool. Alright, so... Oh, no problem. Yeah, so we were having a little bit of a discussion before we went live regarding one of the rules. considering messy criticals and the hunger dice, which I want to talk about just for a quick second so we can kind of get our head wrapped around that. And we're looking for feedback from the chat, Helt in particular. All right, so when we have hunger being increased, whenever we do a roll that pertains to using disciplines or advanced skills, we have to substitute an amount of black dice for red dice equal to the hunger dice. Now, when we roll those, if we get a messy critical, so that is a success but using, or a success with hunger dice, is that accurate?
It's the one with the fang symbols.
Yeah, because the red ones I don't think have the stars.
Right.
On the Ankh, yeah. So when there's enough successes to be a critical success, but okay, so we're being told no, which is good because it took me a little while just to wrap my head around how successes and criticals really work between the two sets of dice, where it's like one special Ankh with the two things underneath, whether it's the fangs or the asterisks on the black dice. One of those equals a success, but if you get two of them, that's like 4 successes or something. Okay, so it is a messy critical if you roll a set of zeros and one of them is a hunger dice. Okay, so if it comes up with the fanged skull. So if you roll 0, 0, that's a critical. Which is 4 successes, and then those would translate to the Ankhs with the fangs on them. Or the asterisks. And if you roll 0, 0, and one of them is a red die, that's a messy critical. So you need the double criticals, or you need the double special successes to get the critical, and if one of them's red, that's a messy critical. So, we don't want on there. Alright, so let's go to our dice roller quickly. Let's see if we can duplicate some of this so we can kind of look at this for sure, because it is a bit confusing. To me, at least. So we'll go, let's go 8 dice. Hunger's at 3. And we need 3 difficulty to win. Alright, so we have...
That's an unlucky roll.
Yeah, 1 success, but that's it. And that 1 success is on a hunger die. Okay, so then let's try the same roll again. So 8, 3, 3, and if anyone wants this bot for their own servers, this is the Thirst bot from the Vampire 5th Edition Discord server. Just roll up Thirst or Google Thirst and you'll be able to find a link to it. It is pretty handy to have. Okay, so in this case, we rolled 8 dice again, and we rolled 4 successes on our standard black dice, which gave us a success with a margin of 1. Okay, let's up this a little bit more. Let's go 3, 10, 5, 5. Because 5 is the maximum amount of hunger dice that you can have at any given time. And if you get up to 5, you're in for a bad time. You and everybody else around you. Alright, so we have 10 dice now. We have a 1 rolled on the hunger, which is the fanged skull. The other 3 hunger dice came up with nothing. And then we have 3 black successes and a red success. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 successes in this case. We don't have double fanged criticals in this case, or special criticals, so we're not doubling that up. Which means we do not succeed the test.
It's
with
just
only
a regular. So it's just a regular failure. It isn't a bestial failure.
In this case, I think it's bestial because we have that fanged red dice, and we haven't succeeded.
Oh yes, I see it now.
Yeah, it's kind of tucked at the top there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just going through to roll this to try and get some of the different combinations up on the screen to be able to work through it. It's handy that the bot will be able to tell us what our outcomes are, but if I'm stuck at a table without the bot, it's handy to be able to decipher exactly what the dice do and what they mean.
If you have the book at hand or a PDF, it's page 206 that goes through all of that.
Yeah. I had to go back a few times and read through some of the examples because they weren't... they were kind of hard to parse.
Yes.
Tone down the difficulty of my rolls. You know what? Going through the starter set, there are some difficulties which they have rated at 5, 6, or 7. So that's why when we were doing the last round, when we were shooting at the car at a difficulty of 5, it's like it'd be pretty darn near impossible for any of the players to be able to hit without spending a whole ton of willpower to re-roll some of that. So I got to look through the grid a little bit to get a handle on that.
Kind of makes sense that we were in a moving vehicle being chased by a moving vehicle.
Yeah.
True.
And we're still getting a sense of our vampiric powers. And I mean, yeah, we do have the option of, the blood surge or whatever it is. So we can definitely tip things in our favor.
Yeah, that's true. Game in the game.
Powers. That's what you're supposed to do.
No, you're supposed to suffer.
Indeed.
I've already
This is our
got that
purpose
one
in life.
accomplished.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything about myself, but as this has now become therapy corner, it all began when I was 16.
Oh, you started late.
Yep, sweet 16.
Okay. I think we are ready to get rolling. I was trying to find some decent vampire pun, but all I came up with is like rolling or cracking or...
Oh. So you suck at vampire puns then?
Very much. Yep. Oh, there we go. Yeah, get rolling like dice. There we go. It's just a general TTRPG pun. Half points at the very least. Alright. See? Yeah, let's get going and we can sink our teeth into this. That one is courtesy of Elaine in the chat.
Kudos.
Alright, so... as you are driving along, making distance between the van behind you, which now has, I believe it was a few holes in their windshield which made them pull over and stop. You're now able to drive along at a decent pace. And it doesn't take too long before you pull up to another building. Butting up against a freeway overpass, the Red Star is a dingy two-story bar. This is the kind of place where drinks are unpretentious, mostly beer and bourbon. The fanciest cocktail one can order here is a Bloody Mary. A no-nonsense brunette wearing jeans and a leather vest introduces herself as Sage, a fellow kindred, and then leads you to the bar's windowless storeroom, where threadbare sheets cover thin hospital mattresses. As she guides you up into the room, you start to feel your limbs grow heavy and leaden, and there's a part of your brain deep behind that knows that the sun is starting to make its way above the horizon. And as soon as you're able to lie down on these mattresses, which you don't need much nowadays, you succumb to sleep, and you sleep like the dead. If anybody was to walk in on you right now, they would see 3 corpses lying on the couch. You do not breathe, you do not toss and turn in your sleep, you do not make a noise. You are dead. Alright, so at this part of the adventure, it goes on to describe humanity and stains. Typically, you would go through your stains at the start of a session, according to the starter set. But since we're starting this one and you're just going down to sleep now, we'll touch on this quickly. So, stains are put upon you if you do heinous shit the day before. It's like if you kill somebody wantonly, or drain someone dry, or a list of anything else that could be considered awful versus your current humanity, you would get a stain upon yourself. When you get, when you get more stains than what you have for humanity, you take a point of aggravated damage, I think, on your willpower track. If this happens, the character will be impaired, and the state of mind renders them incapable of doing further actions that may trigger stains. Additionally, they lose 2 dice from all tests until they go through a remorse test. So a remorse test is not covered here. The player can choose to snap out of the state by voluntarily forfeiting 1 level of humanity. If so, all stains are removed along with 1 level of humanity. This represents that the character has come to terms with the fact that they are a little bit more monstrous than they used to be. I think it's pretty straightforward. Don't be a shit vampire, and you will get along well with your humanity.
No fun.
And here I thought we were going to be playing monsters.
Well, I thought everything goes, right? That means the world of darkness, right?
Yep. Yeah, I could see some people trying to play without kind of hitting that lack of humanity. It's like, I want to be a happy vampire. But that's not the game.
Yes, I know a couple people like that.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole point is the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Humanity versus the beast. That is vampire.
Indeed.
Yeah, running through the starter set, I think all your characters started off with 7 humanity, which is basic for your regular human as they first get embraced. If we were to play a longer campaign or a longer chronicle, I'm sure there would be a lot of opportunity to have bad shit happen in which you have to really think about your actions and start that spiral towards inhumanity. So losing all of your humanity renders a character beast-ridden. Kindred refer to unfortunates suffering this unrecoverable mindless state as wights. And these are typically hunted down and killed. Now, when I was reading through that, did they used to call it something else? Like, I thought it was a different term, not wights.
In V20, it's called wights. WIGHTS.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was before then, but I know in V20 for sure they're wights.
Yeah, I thought... Yeah, I thought it was something else in Revised, or just that you succumb to the beast and you go on a rampage and then you get staked for the sun kind of deal.
I think it's that.
Right, so, you had no stains, so we don't have to do anything regarding that. Now, so, as you are sleeping, one of you starts to have some dreams. creep into their quote-unquote rest.
Ooh, I was wondering if kindred dream.
Yeah, what did we say the other day? That dreams... I'm going to roll it in that your dreams are based upon your humanity, so the less human you are, the less you dream. I think we kind of...
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think we kind of
I like
mentioned
that.
that.
I like that. I'm going to nick that.
Yeah, I think Peach and I were talking about that, and I think Helt was in on that too. Regarding dreams and nightmares. Alright, so... Just going to go through a little bit of a dream sequence. A little bit of flashback. So as you start dreaming, you seem to sense that you've been through this before, almost like a memory more so than a dream. I've been following you. The voice is flat, solemn, and doesn't allow any room for questions. You turn around to find the guide of this peculiar exhibition. Tall, slender, and all dressed in black, your guide seems unable to smile or to express any recognizable emotion. The feeling is strange, alien, then oddly reassuring. My people noticed you back in Iraq. At first, they thought you were not serious about your studies, but then you surprised everyone's expectations. The guide takes you through the pictures, just showing off how much they know. Then, without a word of warning, you feel the fangs in your neck. Death comes to you quickly. And then you start to remember flashes of your embrace just a little bit more, and more flashing images of the events that surrounded the time frame up to that period. You received a strange email offering you old manuscripts rescued from the Central Library of Mosul. It gave you a ray of hope. The prize was too tempting not to inquire. You were given an appointment at an old bookstore, open after hours. The manuscripts were nowhere to be seen, but instead, you found pictures of your time in Iraq, wearing your uniform, your squad mates, your memories. All lined up for you to see, like a museum of your life. For once, you were the subject being studied, and not the other way around. What was your reaction to this, Sam, when you were in that situation initially?
I'm gonna go with I've become something different. The knowledge I've sought all along now runs through my blood. Time to start learning.
So is at that point that you woke up for the first time as your new undead self. But when that happened, you didn't have much memories of your embrace, what led up to it. It was all a bit of a blank. But now that you've had a chance to sleep and rest, some of that is starting to come back to you. And now you're starting to remember bits and pieces about your sire. You're reborn, remade against your will. All the secrets of creation now lie bare in front of you. Everything you thought you knew has become irrelevant, and in a matter of seconds you realize you need to adjust your whole worldview. You have so many questions, but the severe gaze of your guide doesn't invite you to ask. It'll take years, maybe decades, to learn what you need. You are patient. The world isn't. Your guide hears something outside. Wait here. They run outside, leaving you alone with your shrine. Something in the air feels wrong. The sounds, the smell, everything reminds you of your time in Iraq. Survival comes first. You quickly grab all of your pictures, rip them apart, and flush them down the toilet. Then the bullets start whistling. You consider going out there, helping your guide, but the back door looks like a much more reasonable option. You run. And as you make it out that back door, the stake is driven through your heart. You briefly recognize the person driving the stake as a comrade in arms from your last tour of duty. Rude. You need to make better friends. Alright, so those of you who are not familiar with the starter set. They come with these awesome pre-gen characters that have information on the Embrace, the Sire, what their secret was, and a bunch of other information. To me, it is the new standard for what character sheets and starter sets and quick starts should be like. It is easy to use these things to be able to get new players into the game quickly without having to give them a huge lore dive so they know what's going on. Because like any vampire that's starting off as a brand new vampire isn't going to have a lot of the information that some of the players may have. Like, we have years and years and years of reading through lore and novels and everything else pertaining to this game, whereas coming at it from a new perspective, it's kind of nice to have some simple facts and information laid out before you to be able to pull from. Okay, so let's have everybody make their rouse checks. So this is rolling one hunger die, and what is it? If they roll a special face, their hunger goes up by 1, but if they don't, their hunger stays the same.
I think it's whether you just succeed or fail.
Maybe. On a 6+.
I just had it open.
Yeah, if the roll fails, the hunger grows.
Boy,
I get hungrier.
Yeah, if you fail, you gain a hunger.
Right, so...
Well, Rain's getting hangry again.
Yep, me too.
Sam's fine.
Cool.
Yeah, so Rain and Jay get 1 point of hunger, so that puts them up to 3 apiece. And Sam stays at 2.
I'm pretty sure I'm down to 1.
Are
Because
you?
I didn't gain anything last time either, and I fed.
Right, okay, yeah. So yeah, you're back down to 1. Jay got up to 3, and then she fed twice and got knocked down to 1, right?
Yes.
So she's up to 2.
Okay.
And Rain...
He fed once, went down to 2, he wakes up, he's back up 3 again.
Right. So the beast always kind of clawing at your insides. Okay. So night passes, or sorry, I guess day passes in this case. Sam has his nightmares / dreams as he sleeps, and then the other two of you, Rain might have something similar happen to him, a little bit of a flashback, which would kind of agitate him a little bit more. He may wake up in a bit of a red sheen as he was sweating blood throughout the night, which would result in his increased hunger. Jay slept like the dead. She was perfect. Or no, Jay went up. No, yeah, Jay failed too, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so be something similar. Something wasn't completely restful with your sleep. I don't know. None of that makes sense now, considering the one person that didn't increase his hunger had the dreams.
Oh no, it makes absolute sense because that's what he wants. He wants to know. So like he's hungry for knowledge. So like that actually sates him. So his nightmare sated him.
Good, I like it. Your eyes pop open at sundown, alert and ready to go. You feel your hunger, your endless companion, and you briefly reminisce about the events from last night and the vivid dreams that you may have experienced. The bartender from the night before, which you've seen quickly in passing, picks you up and directs you upstairs. You can feel his pulse and heartbeat. He's mortal for sure. For a moment, you struggle with your desire to sate your hunger, and then you wonder if he's into the whole deal. As you reach the ground floor, you meet with two kindred that you've already met. Oh, sorry, in this case it's one kindred that you've already met, Sage, and Jackie, the chauffeur ghoul. Oh, rise and shine. It's a nice new evening. How'd y'all sleep? And this is from Sage.
Well enough.
Am I always gonna wake up this hungry?
More or less, more or less.
Aww.
I'd hardly call it sleeping.
Well, I mean, you get used to it after a while. It is what it is. I mean, like when you were alive, it does give your mind time to process kind of events that have happened. It gives you a time to reflect. But it also means that you are extremely exposed. While the sun is up, we have no opportunity to defend ourselves. That is why we have our lovely caretakers, the ghouls, and she will point to both Jackie and the bartender. So getting confirmation that the bartender is indeed in on all of this. Once we get you settled, and once you figure out where and how you want to settle, we'll have to get you set up with some, well, let's say, daytime guardians. And depending on where you go from here will depend upon how we do that. There are a few different options that will be available to you. But I don't know, for now, if you need anything, ask the bartender. He'll get you whatever you need. But please don't feed on him. He is mine.
Well, can you get us something to eat?
I
Sure.
could really do with a pint.
Sure can, yep. With that, Sage will call over to the bartender and ask for 3 pints of the Ruby Red. And then you'll see him reach underneath and hear a small mini fridge open up, and he'll pull out 3 bags, pour them into mugs, and bring them over to the 3 of you, at which point you're able to drink and knock down your hunger a little bit. And Sage will turn to you. The first one's free. Now, when Sam drinks this down, he doesn't feel any different. It doesn't affect him.
Well, actually, Sam
As much.
won't touch it.
No?
He'll like regard it, and not really feel the urge to drink it. Just leave it.
Would you give it to someone else?
He just leave it there. They're more than welcome to take it or try to take it. He doesn't say, "Hey, have this." He just
Or try to take it?
looks at it and goes, uncomfortable with the whole idea still, despite having fed live already.
Do you just leave it there, or does one of you reach for it?
I don't need it.
All right then, suit yourself. I'll reach out and grab and drink the good stuff.
Yeah, so as you let the blood hit your tongue, you get a good taste of it, and it's not as good as fresh from the tap, but it does in a pinch. So then Sage kind of pipes up again. Yeah, so that should do you for at least another night. If you come back in the morning for another place to sleep, I'm sure we could get something worked out for a little bit more long-term employment or housing, as it were. But you're going to have to start making a few choices as to where you want to go from here. I'm not sure what you've been told yet at this point. Jackie here hasn't said too much. She starts going into a bit of a description between... Well, she lets you know where she sits. I am of what we call the Anarch movement. It is a group of like-minded individuals looking to tear down the patriarchy. The Anarch movement is freedom from fascists, capitalists, and other assholes. Elders try to hoard all of their resources, keeping all the blood to themselves, and push us younger licks under the bus and into the hands of the Inquisitors. Not on my watch. Not while a single one of us Anarchs can bare our fangs at them. And she starts to get pretty heated when she starts to extol the virtues of the Anarch movement to you. I mean, obviously, I think you should join the Anarch movement, but I'm not going to force you one way or another. Whatever you do, though, stick together. It is rough out there for a vampire on their own. Without a crew, you'll die. So you get the feeling that she is trying to sway you to her side with the previous offer of shelter for the night and giving you the information that you want. Do you interrupt her at all in between her talking to ask questions, or just kind of taking it all in as night school is now in session for your second night in a row?
As she takes kind of a pause, Jay goes, "Well, why does it matter if we're new?
What do you mean?
You're teaching us stuff. We're not going to do anything wrong."
Well, I'm teaching you stuff so that you don't do anything wrong.
No, but you said specifically they want to get rid of the new ones.
She stops and thinks about this for a second as I take a second to think back to what was just
That's
said.
okay.
Was that in like regards to the comment about throwing the younger licks under the bus?
Yeah.
Alright. No, it's not just so much the new ones. It's... Well, I guess it kind of is, but... Alright, so... You are your second night into your unlife, we'll call it. We've been doing this, and she'll kind of look at the bartender and Jackie for... I've known Jackie for at least 15, 16 years, and she hasn't aged a day. There are some of us who have been around a lot longer. Like, our struggles over here in the Anarch-Free State started back in the, what was it, the 40s or the 50s? Like, at least 50, 60 years ago. Like, there's some of us who've been fighting this for a while, and a lot of the people who started this movement came from the Camarilla. They came from some of the other sects that are operating, or were operating in the area. I mean, we have a long time to be able to hold grudges and plot and scheme. So, if you've been around for 100 years, you're going to throw the new vampires, the young blood, in the wake of whatever else comes at you. So, when we use the term young or new, it doesn't have the same meaning as what you may be used to.
We're not as valuable to them.
Exactly, but you are to us.
You would think
Why?
we'd be more valuable because we were human. You know, like yesterday.
Well, I mean, that does have its benefits. We, with the Anarch movement, hold values like that, whereas some of the older ones of the Camarilla don't. They look out for themselves.
It's always the case, isn't it?
It is. Now, I'm not saying you have to pick sides right now, but I would like to give you some information so you know what you're getting into.
Well, something tells me that the other side, what did you call them?
The Camarilla.
Camarilla.
Or Camarilla, depending on how you pronounce it.
Oh, I don't like Camarilla. Camarilla.
Good. You can come back.
Something tells me that they're not likely to give us the choice.
Well, once upon a time, you wouldn't have had the choice, but times have been changing, and they've been changing fast. A little bit too fast for the likes of the elders in the Camarilla. we have a bit of an uneasy truce in this area. It's kind of a live, let live. We don't bug them, they don't bug us. And the odd time we are able to put our issues aside to combat the problem of the Inquisition, and to a lesser extent, the Sabbat.
The who?
The Sabbat. They are the more feral among us. She kind of says this with a bit of a exasperated tone.
I see.
Yeah. They are a sect like the Camarilla and us, the Anarchs. They just have a different way about them. They believe that they are the Sword of Cain, and they are here to do his will. They don't respect the almighty masquerade, which the Camarilla tries to shove down our throats every chance they get. And they do things a little bit more aggressively than what the Camarilla would like. And you know what? Honestly, from my opinion, that I would like as well. Blood attracts attention, and we already get enough of that on our own without another group of us adding to that problem.
I see.
Who the fuck is Cain?
The biblical Cain, I assume.
Correct. Cain and Abel, our story goes back millennia. Whether there's any truth to it or not, I don't fucking care. This is my existence here and now. I don't need to know if some asshole from 5, 6, 7,000 years ago is still up and running, or if we even started from him. It doesn't make much difference to me. But there are some of us around here who do take to finding this information out. If you are able to survive your first few days, we can put you in touch with someone who can answer those questions for you.
So there are vampires in the Bible?
Oh god, I don't know. I've never read it.
I like you, love.
I mean, we've had our elder assholes around here for a long time. I'm sure they've gotten their grubby little fingers into everything they could from here until the dawn of time. I mean, we have the Second Inquisition now. The First Inquisition was started by a bunch of fucking assholes of our kind many, many years ago, so who the fuck knows?
Is that different than the Spanish Inquisition?
No, it is one and the same. The First Inquisition, the Spanish Inquisition are the same. And now we're on to version 2.
I didn't
Pardon
expect
me.
that.
Huh.
Yeah, you know what? No one really did.
The Inquisition are humans, or are they kindred?
They are humans as far as I can tell. I don't know if they have any vampires on their side or any other supernatural beings. I try not to mess with them.
So then there aren't vampires in the Catholic Church.
Well,
No, the sound of things were fucked from all angles.
yeah. There's predators all around. You really don't have to look that hard.
I mean, the Catholic Church is full of predators, but I don't think that has anything to do with vampires.
You may want to talk to the Sabbat a little bit later. Well, not so much the Sabbat, but the La Sombra in particular.
Brain will just sort of stand there scratching the head to silence himself. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't think he can help you now.
He'll just roll his eyes, try not to say anything that he'll later regret.
Yeah, either way you decide to go, just be safe. You know, I like the 3 so far. I would hate to see something happen to you. Alright, so I just need to quickly run through something like this. Yeah, the bad part with some of this text in the starter set itself is it's out of position for where you need to read for your current scene.
It's helpful.
Alright, so at that point, Jackie kind of takes a step forward. If I may interrupt this history lesson. She says that as she starts moving a phone down from her ear. We actually have somewhere we need to be.
Who's we?
We as in the four of us. I mean, if Sage wants to come along, she's more than welcome to, but,
Why?
well, it has been requested that you meet up with somebody at the Armitage. The Armitage is, we'll call it a safe space for our kind. Unfortunately, it is also controlled by the very same Camarilla that were just discussed.
Ugh.
I mean, you know, I know, I hear what you say, but they're not all bad. I just tend to get along a little bit better with the Anarchs than the Camarilla, even though I work for one. Work for someone in the Camarilla, so... I don't know, I pick my battles with that one. So she points the phone to Sam. It's like somebody wants to meet you. Or meet you again.
Who?
Uh-oh.
What was your sire's name?
Kasim.
Yeah, his name is Kasim. I'm not sure if that means anything to you right now.
No?
But he is very eager to meet you.
Okay.
And if there's nothing else you need here... then let's get going. Any other questions?
Or generally, or to just Sam?
To anybody, sorry.
Nope.
Thousands, but we don't really have the time right now. May as well go.
Alright, so yeah, as you're making your way towards the door, you hear Sage behind you saying that she'll keep an eye out for you as you're out and about, and then provide any assistance if needed. And she'll look at Jackie. Give them my number, please. And Jackie says, sure, with a nod, and takes the phone that Sam had and programs the number into it. With a name, just an S on it, on the contact. Alright, so you get into the vehicle again. The big, nondescript black SUV. And Jackie drives you through the dirty parts of the city, under every freeway overpass. Tent cities proliferate. Beggars with cardboard signs plead for spare change whenever the car stops at an intersection. But abruptly, all that ends over the length of a single city block. No more tent cities or panhandlers. All the buildings are shiny and new. Everyone on the street is beautiful and trendy, and looming above it all, the Armitage Hotel. Inside, wealthy tourists toting designer luggage check in at the Cherrywood hospitality desk. The opulence dazzles all of you, and you feel decidedly out of place among such fashionable people. Before you can do much else, a tall Asian woman approaches you. She wears a beautiful blue and white suit, her jewelry subtly indicating her allegiance. In this case, that would be a symbol of the Camarilla, which is an Ankh, right side up. She introduces herself as Allison, shaking each of your hands. As she moves through the three of you, shaking each of your hands in turn, you can feel the warmth of her skin, the pulse of her heartbeat in her veins. So you know that she is a ghoul. Once the greetings are made, she gets your names and gives you hers in turn. She leads you towards an elevator off to the side of the hospitality desk, which is controlled by a key pass along the side. This big black box. She takes out her key card and swipes it in front, and the doors make a happy little chime as you move in. Missed opportunity. Alright, so you walk into the elevator and set yourselves up all in the separate corners. And it's just the four of you in there now. The three of you and Allison. She takes her pass again and slides it through a reader and presses one of the keys on the elevator. In this case, there's only three of them. B, L, and E. Then the elevator starts to move up. She engages in small talk, pleasantries, what have you. But she doesn't really say much. She kind of keeps everything to nondescript chatter. Lovely night we're having. Blah, blah, blah. How about them local sports teams? So, after what seems like a minute or two, the elevator stops. And you hear the door chime as it starts to move open. And as the door moves open fully, you see two more people standing on either side of the elevator, one to each side. And as you go out one at a time, Allison leads you out one at a time. And as you pass the two, you get searched down, just to make sure that you have nothing dangerous on you.
They take our guns away.
They do indeed take your guns away.
Oh, okay.
By Lucille.
Unless you have made attempts to secure them otherwise, where they won't find them. That is up to you.
No, Rain will just shout, I want that back.
Me too.
Sam
Yes.
doesn't seem bothered.
Calm yourself. You'll get him back when we're done here.
I'm fucking straight.
Right, so the room that you walk out into is now one of the fanciest bars you've ever seen. It has polished, deep red wood all across the floor, with fancy rugs covering it. The bar is a mix of polished brass and this cherry wood. And there are multiple people in this room. And
I'm
then
so underdressed.
What was that? Sorry?
I'm so underdressed.
yeah, as you stand there being relieved of your weapons, the city stretches out before you in like wall-to-wall mirrors in like a circular shape, almost like a I'll say something like I guess is there a restaurant in the Space Needle or whatever it's called in Seattle? Be something similar to that. you're able to get a good 360 view of the city all around you, with all the lights glittering and flashing at night.
Cool.
And as you are looking around the room, leaning over one of the brass railings, which are set up in front of the glass looking out, you see this man kind of leaning over it. And as Sam looks, he has a spark of recognition.
Almost immediately, without even thinking, like he talks before he thinks about it. He's like, "It's you."
Friend of yours.
Something like that, I guess. We didn't know each other very long.
So-
Sam just stares at him.
When you say this, he starts to straighten up and kind of fixes his suit that he's wearing and slowly turns around. So when he turns around, you are able to really feel the difference between the two groups that you've been in contact with tonight. The anarchs from before that were a little bit more relaxed and loose, and then now what you are suspecting to be a Camarilla held hotel, the sheer opulence and pretentiousness of your surroundings, as well as the people that are around you.
Rain's probably feeling very uncomfortable here. It's very stuffy and smug.
Yeah, Sam obviously also feels very out of place, but he's very much focused on his sire, from whom he has received 0 answers.
Well, to be honest, though, have you really asked anything yet? Yeah, he stands there, kind of leaning against the metal bar now, waiting for you to approach him.
So wait, how many people are in this room? So that's the 4 of us, Kasim.
16 people. Staff
16 people.
and guests included.
Sam will make a beeline then, straight for Kasim, unless anyone gets in his way or stops him. And can I make an insight check to get a general sense of what, like, if he seems surprised to see me, or like how he's feeling in this sort of a general sense in this moment as
Sure.
As I approach him.
Yeah, you can do that. And while you do that, when you start to move towards him, there is a piano player off to the side, and he starts to play a little bit more of an energetic tune as you start to walk forward.
Do you have a difficulty for that check?
Let's go 2.
Oh, I failed.
Okay, so yeah. So what was it exactly that you wanted to know from that?
I was just trying to get a sense of like what his expression was, or how he was feeling as I approached him. Like whether he was surprised or not surprised, expectant.
Yeah, a lot of that will be written on his face. He looks comfortable, like he kind of knew that you were going to show up here, and he's just leaning back and waiting for you to come to him, like the good child you are.
As Sam strolls up, he says, "You don't seem especially surprised to see me here."
Well, no, I mean, I had no doubt that we would meet again. I mean, in all the stories, the prodigal child always returns. You are of strong blood, of course you are.
Strong blood. What blood?
Well, my blood. Our blood. Be welcome, you and your companions. What can I get for you?
As Sam just sort of like shrugs Like he's not really thirsty, so he doesn't respond.
I mean, we're all the same thing, right? Are you saying we can have things other than blood, or?
Oh, no, my dear. You are one of the elites now, one of the children of the night, the drinkers of blood, and that is all you're going to be until the end of your days.
Hmm. It's a shame. I really liked rum.
Yes, well, we have to put our human fancies aside, now that we have higher aspirations and goals.
And what goals are those exactly?
Well, to move up in society, to be better and have more and know more. Know more than the person who is beside you.
At that point, Ren will just walk off, already fed up with his pretentious energy, and just continue looking around the bar.
Yeah, never forget that knowledge is power.
It's true.
Well, recently, as you can see, I secured membership into the Camarilla. My future is thus assured. I want to make you the same offer. Not membership, not right now, of course. But we can help and support each other. You work with me on a few current projects. And in a few years, all of this, and he kind of opens his arms, could be yours. If one has the gift of eternal life, why spend it sleeping in grubby bars? And he's like
Sam,
very
you could own a bar.
dismissive.
I don't think that's what he means, Jay. I'd like some answers first.
Answers. That is what we spend our nights looking for. What can I offer in the way of answers?
What exactly am I?
I thought that it would be a little bit more obvious from one as brilliant as yourself.
Obviously,
You're a vampire.
obviously, I'm in kindred, he says, sharply looking at Jay. But in my short unlife, I've learned a few things about the kindred. The clans. What clan are we? And what are you to me? Are you my new father?
After a sort, I am, for lack of a better term, your sire, your creator, your father in darkness. And what we are the Tremere.
Tremere.
We are the... How would they describe themselves typically? Like, would they come out and say, we're the blood sorcerers of the vampire people?
They would play up to, I would have thought. Like they are, I don't know, some extension of God. I'd imagine they'd be really snobby about it. That they are elite, but not venture elite.
Thank God.
You say that as I'm thinking about my next character, which may be Ventru, so...
I'm so sorry.
Oh, you will be. We are the philosophers, the lore keepers of sorts. We spend our nights learning about the mystical arts which we've been born into. We are able to command the forces of blood in a sense of, to put it crudely, magic. None of the other clans can even compare to their blood dominance than we can.
Sam seems to mull this over a little bit, and because he might have noticed a sort of smirk when he said magic on Sam's face.
Yet he will return the smirk a little bit. Like, given time, your blood is still a little fresh at this point. We can get into that later, as long as you decide to work with us, work with me.
And what does it exactly does that entail?
At that, he kind of turns off to the side and tries to find the barking. God, somebody allowed a gangrel in here again? I thought we checked them at the door.
He missed it. Oh.
Missed what?
Kasim was making fun of the gangrel barking.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. That's
Okay.
No, not at
elder
all.
dog. That's Emma.
Yeah, if you want to pick her up and have her on the camera too, nobody's going to complain.
Very
I
true.
I may try and do that. If you can, I'll move.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we'll just take a second. Yeah, so as he's kind of giving you a bit of a snobby rundown of what you are, you feel deep down that everything that he's been saying to this point is true. Like there's a connection between your desire for knowledge.
Apologies.
No worries. So eventually Sam, like as he's talking and there's a lull in the conversation, Sam then says, so then what exactly do I owe you in all this? He sounds really suspicious.
Well, I'm not sure if I've ever thought of that before.
Aye, sure.
When I found you in Iraq, your inquisitiveness intrigued me. You seemed like a person that would be able to help with various studies that I have on the go. Like your level of inquisitiveness was second to none.
I see.
I mean, right now, to help ease this transition of yours and help broker a trust between us, I mean, I can offer you various things.
Such as?
Well, now have access to superior hunting grounds. I'm not sure if you've seen the grounds outside of the hotel.
I haven't.
The streets were clean. There was no beggars and vagrants loitering. This is Camarilla territory, and they do a pretty good job of keeping it clean.
What do you got against homeless people?
Absolutely nothing. They have a place, just not near here. We could also look at getting you set up with a haven of your own, so you have a place to sleep every night. And not have to worry about that dingy bar. On top of that, after a while, as I was saying, admission into the Camarilla itself has its immense perks. I mean, I'm sure there's something charming about the anarch lifestyle, but I feel that you are beyond that. You're above that.
Sam just sort of like looks thoughtful. He doesn't say anything out loud in response.
I'm not too sure if I can extend the same offer to your companions, but depending on how the future goes and how they comport themselves, something I'm sure could be arranged. I mean, the smell off of that one, kind of pointing at Rain. We always need ground troops.
So if you're his dad, do you know my dad?
I am not sure who he was. Kind of thinking if... here, you know what? Let's leave this to a dice roll. 1 to 3 is a no, 4 to 6 is a yes. And that is a 1. No, I am sorry. I do not know who embraced you. But if you help out Sam here, and by extension myself, we could put some resources into tracking him down in the future.
What would I have to do?
Oh, just provide assistance any way possible.
It's rather
Now-
open-ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I try not to deal with definites and finites. I find you get more out of being fluid.
Yeah, you get fucked more out of being fluid.
Wow, that went from naught to shit really quickly.
I don't know what to say to that. You sure like to speak your mind, though, don't you?
She rolls her eyes.
Yeah, it's kind of my fucking thing now.
Oh, you poor thing.
Don't give me that condescending bullshit. I don't need that. She walks away.
Yes.
Samus is like, ooh.
Rain was smart. He left before that happened.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Is he still within range listening to all this go down?
Probably, but he's probably stopped listening. He's not that far away. He's just minding his own business, I guess. Judging people internally.
They're probably judging you too, so.
Yep.
Fair. I look like a tramp.
Yeah, and you are tracking dirt in through the hotel.
I mean, to be fair, we all look like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you should have asked the bartender for nicer clothes.
Bartenders don't have clothes.
Yeah, people bartend naked. What the fuck?
I mean, extra clothes.
It was a
They're
pretty
not a Macy's.
full-service bar.
He doesn't bartend at Macy's.
Ow. All right. Yeah, after kind of thank you, Twink Tommy, for the subscription. After going through the bit of a spiel as to the perks of being in the Camarilla, like what it could actually mean for you, and kind of pointing this over to have his voice carry towards where Jay is, and Rain may be in that same vicinity as well. I mean, any vampire worth their blood should want to be worthy of membership in the Camarilla. The organization has done more to protect vampire society than any other group in our history. Only the Camarilla stopped the First Inquisition. Do you think the Anarchs have the power to stand against the Second Inquisition? No, they'll die screaming in the streets. I beg you not to join them and to see such an end yourself. I can only imagine what Marcus and his friends what Marcus and his friends may have told you. I feel for them. We used to be like a family. There's nothing that would make me happier than seeing all of my friends enjoying the protection of the Camarilla. Sorry, I bungled that one up a little bit. You get the feeling that there is some history there between the Anarchs and your sire.
Sure. Sam says, well, how should I put it? We've been vampires, kindred, for all of a single night. How can you expect us to have any kind of stake in a war we weren't even aware of until 12 hours ago.
Well, despite your origins, how could you have any stake in a war that you really had no idea what was about when you joined the armed forces?
That was a different.
There's no difference here.
There's quite a few differences. I made that choice, number one. You made this choice for me. And
You
number two,
actually made
that was a
this
means
choice.
to an end. I never saw a memo or brochure.
You accepted the invitation.
Oh, you want to be kindred?
Yeah, there's pamphlets. Yeah, and that's what we need from the Lore by Night podcast guy is pamphlets on. So you want to be a vampire? Why would you not want this?
Well, with all due respect, I haven't really had the time to think about what I do want.
Wow. You can at least have a little bit of gratitude for me bringing you into this in such an exalted position.
Gratitude? I was staked. Where did you go? What happened?
Yeah, well,
It was the Anarchs who recovered me.
was it?
He's like, yeah? I think?
No, I seem to, from what I've heard, believe that you escaped on your own. The Anarchs had nothing to do with it.
But they're the ones who collected us. They're the ones who found us. Wait, what do you mean? How much do you know already?
Well, there has been some information that has recently been leaked. He, at that point, will wave towards Allison and have her come over. And she has a tablet with her. And she'll kind of hold it up to you. Do you want to call over Jay and Rain at all, or?
I mean, so Sam will turn and look for them and, like, make eye contact and maybe even be like, hey, come on over, but he's not gonna try super hard. But yeah, he'll look for them and try to gesture them over.
Rain would notice and he would come over immediately, probably thinking that shit's going to go down.
Oh, there's a good
Jay
dog. Comes when he's called.
I was
thinking
saying
it.
that in game, and I was like, "Oh no!"
I was thinking it, but I was not going to say it in or out of character.
Was that in or out of character?
That was in character.
Oh, somebody
Oh.
did. Oh boy.
Yeah, the sire said that. I mean, Tremere and Gangrel don't get along too well, do they?
I mean,
The fuck you just say to me? And you would stop and just sort of snarl.
He'll
Now
kind
Jay
of
will go over.
wave you down a little bit.
Sam being more relaxed than he's ever been up to this point. Like previously, he was like alert, ready to act, on edge. Now he's very, very relaxed. Just gestures to the iPad or whatever it is that she has, and says to Rain, "Apparently, there's some new information about our situation.
And it's a Samsung, thank you.
Whatever."
You're more than just a dog. It's okay.
she pats Rain's shoulder.
Fuck off. But thanks.
Yeah, so when you're all gathered and kind of settled in around the tablet, Allison presses the play button. The video is short and it looks rough, but you can clearly see yourselves depicted in it. It shows you wandering around the walk-in freezer of the restaurant you fled last night. It begins as you woke up and rose to your feet, and breaks off a few seconds later. These moments are shown in a repeating loop, which Allison allows to loop for a few iterations. She pauses the video and increases the lighting Yeah, so she pauses the video. And kind of looks at the three of you.
What is
We
this?
We were being watched. You'll sort of
Right.
stare at. I forgot the Sire's name.
Kasim.
Kasim. You'll glare at Kasim.
This wasn't us. Sorry, go ahead.
What's okay?
Like I said, it's best to assume that we're always being watched.
No shit.
Yeah, and Kasim would say that's not far from the truth. Allison would explain that one of their operatives was able to recover the video, or at least this piece of it. She believes that the Inquisitors that have been following you over the last 2 nights, well, one night, I guess, would have the original media and all of it in its entirety. If you are able to get a hold of it, that would be greatly rewarded in... I don't know how to word this. Who the fuck made these words? Stupid English. She says something along the lines that by going to recover this information, because we don't want any of this to fall into anybody else's hands or have the Second Inquisition hold on to this, who she believes are the ones that are responsible for this, you would be rewarded with, let's call it a fast track into our organization. This would be a massive masquerade breach if it was left to fall into anybody else's hands.
I mean, I don't understand why they had cameras in a freezer anyway.
Well, I think they wanted to see what you would do.
Who set them up then?
Probably the Inquisition. There's been many times in the past where we've lost people to the Inquisition only to have them recovered a little bit more worse for wear, staked out for the sun, and us being able to get to them right before something unforeseen happens, or coming across one of our kindred flayed and splayed in a bathtub, having their blood drained from them night after night. These people are the real monsters.
You seem to have a lot of maybes and probablys. What good would it be to join a group with a bunch of non-answers? Especially with sticks up their asses.
She kind of ruffles out a little bit. Nobody else has any more information than what we do now. Do you think the disorganized anarchs could get this far, this kind of information?
Seems like you don't know a whole lot about them.
Well, we are at a position where we're not totally able to get somebody on the inside.
She raises an eyebrow.
How much would you be willing to pay for something like that?
Well, as we're saying, induction into our organization would be a start. But you yourselves would not be able to make it in.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you do not have a heartbeat, and even though you are able to make it beat for a little while, you cannot keep that up. Somebody would be able to see right through your disguise, your charade.
They know that much about us?
Oh,
They'd be
yes.
able to just pick us out like that?
Yeah, their technology is second to none. Now, the Duskborn are a little bit more able to get past their defenses, but
What's that?
they are like us, but of a weaker vintage. Well, sorry, not like us, but she'll say like him, pointing to Kasim or yourselves, and then continue on. They're of a little bit more of a weaker vintage. Their blood isn't as potent as what, say, yours is. They don't have some of the traits that you do, or some of the powers and strengths that you do.
The only power I've got is not being able to shut my fucking mouth.
We haven't had the opportunity to learn much, but what we can do exactly.
Yeah, and that's it as well. Being on our side, we would be able to help you track down your sires, looking at Jay and Rain, as well as giving you information that you may need that will help you survive the nights to come. Like in relation to your new situations and whatnot.
And you're the only ones that would be able to provide this?
We are the only ones that would be able to give you the quality of information that you would require.
How long do we have to think about this?
Well, sooner rather than later would be nice. The longer that this remains in their hands, the more chance of it falling into someone else's.
Well,
Or them learning too much.
Sam starts to speak. It seems at the very least, for all three of us, he looks at his two companions, and then back to Kasim. He says, or Allison, who's ever talking, says, this can at least be mutually beneficial. We can learn more about the people who attacked us. You can provide whatever resources you want. We'll help close this off, I guess. I see no reason to turn them down right now.
I agree that it's important to get rid of that film.
No one's
Jay-
asking you to sign a contract, Jay. Not yet.
Giving your word to things like these means a lot more than you think it could.
Yeah, Kasim would...
Especially with people who own bars this nice.
That could be us one day.
No, I'm pretty sure he said that could be you one day.
Ah. Tomato, tomato.
I don't think that's how that phrase goes.
That's exactly how it goes. So what do we have to do? Sam crosses his arms.
Well... Well, I can provide you with a car, and this is Allison speaking. You'll have your weapons back. And, you'll be provided with a driver, and they'll take you to where we suspect this is being held.
That's it?
That is it. Get there, get the information, and get back out.
This seems far too simple.
What could possibly go wrong?
1001 things.
I hate that phrase.
How about we throw in some fresh clothes while we're at it, so we don't look like vagabonds?
Consider it done.
And I don't know, is there any other sort of equipment you can offer? Or are we just gonna, like, even a crowbar? Anything? I don't know. We have nothing. We can't just walk in and solve all the problems.
Well, yeah, whatever you would need, within reason, to see this accomplished. I'm sure we can get you set up for it.
I better get my gun back.
You will get your gun
Our
back.
guns back.
I want something first. I don't just walk into this kind of agreement blind with the promise that something's going to come.
What would that be?
I either I either want to know who my sire is, or I want to know what the fuck is going to happen to us once all of this is done, once we finish this job. Then what, we're just one of you?
Well, maybe not so much one of us, but you'll be on the right path towards that. And as for your sire, we can try and find who that was. Obviously, we cannot make any guarantees, because if they're not in the area anymore, or if they're not with the... not with the living... that may make things a little harder. But we can do whatever we can to try and get you reunited. I mean, there may be some issues as far as the prince is concerned with unapproved siring of children.
Prince?
The fuck
What?
does that mean?
Nobody has told you about the prince yet?
No.
No.
God, we need pamphlets. Alright, so every Camarilla city is ruled by a prince. They are an elder of our kind whose word is law. So, like the title implies. The Primogen Council is a group of local leaders who advise the prince.
Fucking words.
Yes, yes. Who advise the prince and share in the management of the city. This city is different here. The anarchs roam free with no prince to call their number. Damn it, I should have read that one. Derp.
What?
There was something that was missed in her saying that there may be issues with a prince on having unsanctioned siring.
Right. Yeah.
And then the right up here says that the city is different. Here, the anarchs roam free with no prince to call their numbers. Don't fear, we are working to change that situation. So, retconning that. Here is a little bit different. The prince is a little bit more lenient on the anarch presence that is around here. They have kind of reached a bit of an agreement between the prince and the wannabe baron to where they are able to gather, we'll say. And before you ask, a baron is like a prince, but for the anarchs.
Definitely not as pretentious.
Baron still seems pretty pretentious to me.
You
As
haven't
much
met him.
as Prince.
All weird royalty stuff.
Yeah, you know what? That is not even the tip of it, she says to you.
So what about this other sect that we were told about? The Sabbath.
Sabbath.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath.
Sabbath.
They are a dying sect. They are the militant arm of our race of sorts, or your race of sorts. Their numbers and membership right now are in flux. We're not even sure what's going on with them, whether they are even a real sect anymore. They are... Well, things are happening. One of their founder clans has crossed the floor and is now part of the Camarilla. So,
Who's that?
the La Sombra, but we will get into that at another time. So, about this job, are you ready to leave?
Sure. It's going to get
Kinda-
stuffy and smug in here.
Yeah.
Fine.
So the two ghouls that were standing outside the elevator come and get you when Allison gives them a nod. They bring you back to the door. They'll tell you to go down to the front desk, and then they will set you up with what you need, like clothing and any additional tools and whatnot. They hand you your firearms back. Rain's has been polished and is free of any fingerprints. Like in my mind, I assume that it's like a chromed gun. Like it's shiny, it's pretty.
Rain would be annoyed by this. He likes having a filthy gun.
That's just not good gun ownership.
Yeah, but this is Rain, though. He's a bit of a tramp.
Yeah,
He likes
and
it when his gun randomly stops working.
you like kind of take the gun and rub it against your pants or something to get some of the grime of the day back onto it. And...
Yeah, he tried spitting on it, but then he realizes he can't spit, and then he just shouts loudly, like "Fuck!"
Christen the gun with blood.
So Sam will take up the offer of new clothes and even, I don't know, a bath or something if we can do that. And
Sure.
he reemerges wearing dark, formal, basically a suit. Dark and
Yeah.
formal clothing.
Do you have hair gel?
Sam doesn't have hair.
I mean, I was asking like the
Oh.
Camarilla, but sure.
Yeah, they would have a fully stocked, we'll say a fully stocked hotel room set up. There is racks of clothing set up. There are a few places that look like they could be used for sleeping. There are no windows, so it's daylight safe. The bathroom would have whatever you need. Curling iron, straightener, blow dryer, gel, soaps, potions, poultices, whatever you could need. Pomades.
Yeah, she. Sorry, go on.
Rain would get changed reluctantly because he knows they would have to dress up a little bit, but the moment that they're finished, he's tearing holes in it.
Yeah, Jay would gel up her hair so that it doesn't look like a shitty hack job anymore. It still is, but now it's sticking up. And she probably finds like a plain gray dress or something and throws like a denim vest over it.
Yeah, those would be there. Yeah, and as soon as Rain is finished getting the pants ripped to his liking, he sees that there is already a pre-distressed ripped pair of jeans further down the rack.
Yeah. Son of a...
Alright, yeah, so if you're done getting dressed and refreshed and whatnot, as you come out, the concierge will flag you over and point you to a limo outside of the hotel with a driver standing beside it waiting for you to come out. I think this should do you for what you need. Anything that you requested to get this taken care of should be in the trunk. The driver knows where to take you. And be safe, and hope to see you again at Hotel Armitage.
You have a smartphone I can have?
Sir, I am sorry, but we are not allowed to give our smartphones out.
Yeah, have an extra one?
No.
Okay.
Anything else more reasonable?
I don't see how that's unreasonable. How else am I supposed to research what we're doing? I can't even do a Google search.
You kinda could on your little flip phone.
Ugh.
Do we all have one of those?
I think it's just the one that you had earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember surfing the internet on those old phones from like 18, 20 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
I still have mine.
Yeah, same.
I might do.
I don't know where mine ended up. But I got my Nokia slider.
Nice.
Yep. That was a nice little phone. Alright. Anything else before we move on?
No. Well, so we're going back to where we woke up? Is that
No.
what we're doing?
No.
So where exactly are we going?
You are going to a place that is not here. Where are you going? So you would have been told that there is a warehouse halfway across town, which they suspect is their base of operations or their listening post.
I see.
So the driver has the details as to where he needs to take you.
What city are we in?
I don't know.
Oh.
Oh. Huh?
Not a clue. I did not think of a city to have this based in. If you three want to decide what city this is,
Make one up.
Make one up.
you are now in buttfuck nowhere.
Awesome. That's my
I
hometown.
like it.
I don't know. What relevance would the city
Hey.
have?
It doesn't really matter. Just curious for flavor's sake.
Sure. Well, we'll say it is a coastal city.
Okay.
Somewhere along the west coast, because west coast is best coast.
Okay. Okay.
So
Times.
the warehouse itself is pretty close to the waterfront. Okay. So at this point, are you on your way?
Yeah, I guess so. So the only equipment I guess that Sam would have asked for specifically would have been a knife. And then I guess some rope.
Yeah, that would have been put into the trunk of the limo for you.
If they had it, Rain would probably request brass knuckles, not really expecting to get it. And if they did have it and they gave it to him, he'd be very pleased.
Rain is indeed very pleased.
Cool.
Anything special for Jay?
Trying to think.
I'll be right back. I gotta get a drink.
Yep.
Could I get a second mag and a thigh holster?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Sorry, just quickly running through this. Alright, so now we are going to be getting into like the big combat scene of the starter set. So it kind of brings
Ooh.
everything rolled up. We've done the social stuff, we've done a little bit with disciplines, and now this is the chance to kind of use whatever you want to be able to deal with what's coming at you. Alright, so as you are driving along in this limo, the driver takes his time taking you to where he's been instructed. You meander across the city towards the warehouse, which is close to the harbor. I mean, the vehicle itself is not fast. It doesn't have a lot of guts. It's a little bit heavier, as you were able to see by some paneling on the vehicle itself. So it gives you an idea that this vehicle may be reinforced against like small arms fire. And it takes probably about 45 minutes for you to get close to where you have to go.
How dark is it currently? Like, how well lit up is this place?
It is pretty dark in this area. You have street lights, but they're not as frequent as other parts of the city were.
Okay.
The odd light coming off of the warehouse that are scattered throughout the area.
Might I use a discipline to aid in my vision, i.e. Eyes of the Beast?
Sure.
Cool. Seems we'll have to roll for that. It doesn't seem there is an actual roll for that unless I use it to intimidate body, so my eyes just glow up red.
Yeah, that would be something I think that you'd be able to kind of do as a natural move. You may have to roll to see if you, rouse your blood. Like get a little bit hungrier by using your blood to increase your abilities. But it's going to trigger regardless.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to go and collect my dog. They've just been annoying to the neighbours.
Yeah, we'll give him a second to take care of that. Yeah, Ryan, as I was telling them when you stepped away, that we're going to be covering off the combat section of the quick start now, or the starter set, sorry.
Oh, cool. Who says there's going to be combat? Maybe we'll be very stealthy and no one even know we were here.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So, Eyes of the Beast, what would you like me to roll to see stuff with my glowing red eyes?
I think it would just be a like a hunger roll.
Okay.
Or no,
I don't think he has to, because
No?
looking at everyone else's disciplines, like it specifically says when you have to make a rouse check.
Yes, I was just
Fair.
looking what it says on the character sheet. The only time I have to roll something I was using to intimidate someone, which I'm not.
Yeah, okay.
Eyes got a red gleam. You can activate or deactivate this power at will if on you can see in the dark. All darkness related penalties are removed. And you can add 2 dice to intimidate rolls.
Nice. Yeah, so you're able to trigger that with no issue at all.
Nice.
So, within moments of noticing that you are able to see better in the darkness, you're looking out the side of the limo as you're driving down, and you see these bright lights turn on as a vehicle starts moving down one of the side streets. And when the vehicle itself gets underneath one of the sparse streetlights, you're able to make out a white van.
The same one we shot?
You would suspect it is the same one that you shot.
think we've got the right place. And I'll sort of gesture towards the van, maybe with a nod if we're still in the car.
Yeah, I guess so.
I was kind of hoping we wouldn't.
Hmm.
You
Round
know,
two.
this might benefit you as well. If we can find out what information they have on us, it might lead to your sire.
I don't like them.
Ooh.
I'd just rather find them on my own if I have to deal with a big organization like that.
Yeah, fuck the cam.
I think regardless of what direction we all go, we're going to be dealing with the organizations.
You seem like a bootlicker. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Sam
That's
just
both in
sort
and
of,
out of
sort of
character.
grins.
I don't mean any offense by that. I know it was your career, but still.
Things aren't always so simple.
I try to deal with people rather than businesses whenever I can.
Business has got me in prison. I didn't do anything wrong before you say anything.
It wasn't going to.
Good.
For once.
All right.
All right, so you have a white van that is starting to come down on you.
Oh, it's actually closing in on us. I thought it was parked. Oh.
No, sorry. It was, but then it started to move when it seen the limo drive by.
Oh.
Sorry, that was not clear.
This is one stealthy white van that keeps all of a sudden appearing on our six everywhere we go.
If we weren't having a domestic, we might have noticed it move.
Nobody expects the white van.
Yeah. So I don't know. Sam pulls his gun out and says, "Let's go have a talk with these people. They seem to want to meet us."
Yeah. In a language they can understand.
And so are you going to get the driver to stop here, or see how long they follow you for, or how do you want to...
What Sam suggests is either turning down a side street or down an alley or something to narrow things up. Us hop out and the driver continue on for a minute.
You
Rain
want
would
to
agree.
let our getaway car get away?
We're going to have to get out at some point. These dickheads are going to keep following us.
And
Well, just shoot their windshield out again.
How about we shoot them and take their van, and we drive in?
That's
Yeah,
not a
so-
bad idea.
So Sam suggests that everyone, so when we do this, we all hop out. And then everyone try to hide except for Sam and see if you can get them to stop. And then you guys jump them.
Surprise attack. Nice. I think at this point Rain would de-redify his eyes.
De-redify. Yeah. That's what we're going to attempt to do.
All right, so you pass that information on to the driver, and he gives you a nod from the front, and he says, "Just up around this corner, we should be able to get pulled off and let you get hidden quickly." So, do you want him to keep driving on afterwards?
Yeah, just around the corner.
All right, so yeah.
We'll come get you, and if we don't, just leave.
They didn't really care for us anyway.
Right.
Yeah, so he gives another nod and pulls around the corner and stops as quick as he can to let y'all out.
All right. Sam will stand in the middle of the alley. Did we pull off into a road or an alley?
We'll say an alley.
All right, Sam will stand off into the middle of the alley and let the others find somewhere to hide along the sides.
Almost like it was planned, on either side of Sam there are two green dumpsters.
How convenient.
He'll
Yep.
move a little bit further away so that if the van were to approach, they might pass them. Or, whatever.
Alright, so the white van turns the corner, roughly around the same time that the limo turns the corner at the other end of the alleyway. He has to take that corner pretty slow, because limo in an alleyway. Sure. Yeah, so van comes up. It stops just short of the end of the alleyway. Like, it comes in and stops. There's, say, roughly, 100 meters between you and them at this point. And they have their headlights shining right at you still, as you stand all alone in the middle of the alleyway.
Sam just puts his hands up.
Right, so at this, you see the lights on the van turn off. And the back doors you would see kind of fling open as some people come out of the back of the van. And the front door, driver's side door, opens up as the driver hops out as well. So then from the back of the van, you see two other people kind of come around either side. So now there's the driver, another person behind him, and then one person on the passenger side. So all that you can see right now at this point is 3 people in total.
Yep.
What can we see from our viewpoint?
You can see all this going down. They've moved up to the front of the van now. And yeah, I think your line of sight would, you'd be able to see all 3 of them at this point.
Could we see into the van? Or did they close the doors?
One of the doors on the driver's side is open, so it's a little bit of cover. But you can't see too much into the vehicle. If Rain still had his eyes turned on, he might be able to make out a little bit more. But there wouldn't be much to see, as right behind the driver's seat there's like a panel separating the front from the back. Think of it like a Sprinter. A little bit larger in the back than... I guess think of it like the TARDIS. It's a little bit larger on the inside. Yeah, so it's a Sprinter, if you're familiar with those.
Google it. Okay, got it.
One of the original Mercedes ones. Before Dodge took it over, I think. Okay. What do we have here for combat stuff?
Oh boy.
Alright, so on your character sheets, you have some actions that you are going to be able to do during combat. For Sam's, persuading could work for him. He has his attack, his bite, his intimidate. Rain has his standard attack with his pistol and fists. Bite, intimidate as well. And then Jay can do things like biting and persuading and intimidating and attacking. Kind of the same all around. Obviously, if there's other creative ways that you want to take care of these chumps, we'll work that out. Okay, so...
Despite it being against his character, Rain would wait until somebody threw the first punch. Usually it's him that's throwing the first punch.
So what are they doing right now? So they've all lined up along the front of the van. Have they stopped? Are they still approaching Sam?
They are... Boy.
Are they armed?
Sorry. Yes, they are armed. You know, I should probably get the bad guys figured out right about now. Alright, so... That is not the bad guys. This is... Okay, so we got 3 of them. 2, 3, 4. Alright, so... The one that hopped out of the driver's seat, all you can see on him is a stake. A sharpened wooden stake. The one that is on the driver's side, or sorry, passenger side, is holding an assault rifle and pointing it at you. And then the other one on the driver's side has a handgun. So at this point, they start to get into a position right in front of the van where the 2 with firearms are in the front and the one with the stake is behind the 2 of them. And they are not aware of the other 2 who are hiding right now at this point. And they start to move towards you and start yelling commands at you to... Is your gun out?
No, so he's standing there in his nice suit, ball buttoned up, hands up. It's like, I give up.
Yeah, and they'll yell at you to get on the ground with your hands on your head now.
He doesn't.
They keep walking forward, like tactical maneuvers, and after a few seconds, they start getting more forceful with their words. On the ground, now!
Are they within striking distance of my companions yet?
Not yet.
Alright. Sam will very slowly begin to move down to his knees and slowly put his hands behind his head. His gaze fixed upon the one with the assault rifle.
Okay.
But he's doing it very slowly, so they continue to advance. He's trying to milk the time. Like, he's not going to lie down, but he's trying to milk the time so that they get close enough so that the others can reach them at least.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you 3 see this scene? Dumpsters in the front, Sam back here, and you 2 behind the dumpsters?
Yeah, so like what I was imagining, so like Sam is furthest away, and then up ahead, they have to pass the dumpsters to reach Sam.
Right. Yeah, so as you make the slow and deliberate movements, and you are now making direct eye contact with the one with the assault rifle, they start to quicken their pace, which now is putting them level with the dumpsters.
Just as they're coming past the dumpsters, Sam, I will attempt to issue a command to the one with the assault rifle. I'm going to attempt to use my discipline, Dominate, and I'm going to compel him to drop the assault rifle. He just says, drop your weapon.
Okay, so that would be...
And I'm going to use a blood surge.
Hell yeah.
Blood Surge gives you an extra 1 dice, right?
Yes.
So you'd have 4 dice in total?
5.
5? Yeah, sorry, 5. Okay, and then what do we have for these?
And I gain a hunger. I'm at 2 now.
Cool.
So it says, when used against a victim who's actively, assume he's going to try to resist. He's not going to willingly put his gun down. It would be my 5 dice against his wits versus resolve.
Right. Okay, I'll have to do a quick check on that. Because they don't have their stats listed on here. Okay, you said their, what was it? Their wits versus...
Wits plus resolve.
Okay, so we'll just say that they had 2 dots in each, and going with the take half for MP or SPCs it'd be looking at like a difficulty of 2.
Okay. Success.
Okay, so how does this play out?
So, I mean, I guess at this point, because from what I've been made to understand, Dominate is unconscious. So, identifying, Sam immediately reads the situation, sees the one with the assault rifle is probably the biggest threat, because that's a big, scary gun that he's familiar with. And he's down, so he's basically kneeling. He's not on his knees yet. He's got one knee down, both his hands behind his head. And he looks straight at him and says, "Drop your weapon now."
And you see this person kind of stumble in her steps. And you hear the clatter of the assault rifle as its plastic parts hit the ground first and it clatters down to the ground.
And then hopefully the other two would take this to realize that is a signal. Please don't let me get shot.
Yeah, so start quickly figuring out what's going on. Do you two want to do anything first?
No, I think Rain will just be waiting until somebody would shoot or punch, and then be rather surprised that this dude with the assault rifle actually dropped his weapon.
And neither of the other two have weapons, correct?
Well, the other one has a handgun, and the third one has a stake.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. As the woman puts down the assault rifle, Jay's gonna try to shoot out one of the tires on the van.
No, we want the van. What are you doing?
I mean, then they could also get away, though.
Okay,
Oh dear.
yeah, so do that, and we will look at a difficulty of, I'm thinking 3 maybe, because the vehicle is about 100 meters away, so there's a bit of range. Yeah.
She would also probably make it known to Rain what she was about to do, at least by gesturing, if he decided he wanted to move.
He wouldn't shoot at the van because that was the plan. He would.
Would you
probably
tell her not to?
He'd be not so much afraid, but he'd be cautious of saying anything in case they heard him.
I mean, she just...
He
Yeah,
probably,
it's like I imagine in this moment there isn't a whole lot of time, right? It's like this. I imagine the rifle was just dropped.
Yeah.
So, like this is before their partner reacts. So like you have like seconds, right?
Yeah.
Is what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
If you shake your head, she won't do it.
he'd probably put a face like, and like gestures his weapon towards the people. The man.
All right, she'll. The other two are both men, correct?
The one that dropped the weapon is a woman.
Is a woman, right?
And the other two, yeah, they would be masculine looking.
Okay. Who's closer, the one with the gun or the one with the stake?
The one in the stake would be behind the other two, so the one with a gun is in the front. And then now there's the unarmed woman.
All right, we'll shoot for the one with the gun then.
Okay. So since they are quite a bit closer, I wish I had the book down here with me, just for difficulties. For those of you who are watching right now and have run this game before, when you're looking at shooting somebody from a closer range, what kind of difficulty would you pose? Crowdsourcing my GMing. this is one area where I've got a little bit of a weakness in, is running with difficulties. Like you were saying earlier, having a moving vehicle that you're in, new to the vampiric condition, and then shooting at a moving vehicle is a little bit harder than kind of crouching down behind a dumpster and trying to shoot at somebody who's close. So, okay, it's a contest, not a set difficulty.
How does it work when they're unaware?
I was going to say, is that...
Yeah, in this case, it'd be a little bit more of a first strike kind of deal.
Or does it even matter in this system? I don't know. I haven't actually read the book.
Yeah, I'm slowly making my way through it all. Yeah, so the other person will do their roll with the player. Whoever gets more successes causes damage.
How would they do damage, though?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see if I can get back to the beginning combat section and see what they have written off here. I do apologize for this little hitch in the game.
Okay. Combat is complicated.
Yep. Why couldn't you just talk this through?
They have guns.
Yeah,
Sharp, pointy, wooden thing.
that too.
I.e. a stick.
I don't want to get sticked again.
Okay, so for a section here on one roll conflict, whenever conflict seems very easy to solve, which, you know, in this case it kind of is, you can use the one roll conflict system. The players just need to roll as many dice as their attacking action value and get or exceed a specific number of successes. That difficulty is 2 for significantly weaker opponent, 4 for an even match, and 6 for a clearly superior foe. In this case, I would say they're kind of evenly matched. Gun skill versus gun skill plus, like, say, armor and whatnot. Encourage the players to think creatively. Any player that declares they use their disciplines, did some preparation, or use some creative edge to their attack lowers the difficulty of the roll by 1 or 2, if they did all of those things. As long as one player's roll reaches or exceeds that difficulty, the player character wins the confrontation. However, even winning the battle may result in their taking some damage. To determine this, double the roll's difficulty and subtract all successes, not only the margin from it. Any positive result is applied as damage to the attackers. Okay, I'm kind of liking this. Okay, so you are attacking from stealth. They're not aware of you yet at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, being as they're probably on par with you, we would say that it would be like a 4 difficulty. But because you're hidden and able to take a second longer to take a shot at them, we'll drop it down by 1. So we'd be looking at 3 difficulty.
Right.
Rain would shoot as well. Once she's fired her first shot, he would shoot. The remaining armed person, I can't remember who she was shooting at now.
Am I making what with firearms?
It should be your attack roll on your character sheet. And then Rain would be shooting at the one with the stake, or I think Jay is shooting at the one with the pistol.
Yes.
So then that would leave, there'd be the pistol, the unarmed, or the staker.
The staker, because the one with the rifles dropped. Yes, it would be the staked one.
Cool.
I think I did that right.
No,
Nope, I didn't. I did it backwards.
Well, hold on a second. Okay, yeah. But
Sorry.
I don't know if it really matters too much.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
You got successes.
That's a lot of hunger dice, but you succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say that that's a success either way, because...
Okay.
Alright, so now...
I'm just trying to remember how to do the bot thing, just trying to find the rules.
Yeah, no
So it's
worries.
cool, hunger, difficulty.
Yes, thank you. What did you say the difficulty was?
It'd be 3.
Thank you. A success.
Nice.
Cool.
Pew pew.
Pew pew, motherfuckers!
I was going to say that, but I restrained myself.
Okay, what do I need to look at quickly? Let's see if this will give me any information. Because I am curious how damage is settled now. Tests, modifiers, margin, contests, conflicts. One roll conflict. Okay, so then let's go back to... Oh yeah, no, I guess since you're essentially ambushing them, they don't know that you're there.
Mm.
So there would not be any retaliation yet at this point.
Helton, our saviour, our Lord and Grace, has written in the thing, if the person is not aware or not involved, then you only need to hit.
Yeah, so in this case, that's what that was.
Mm.
Yeah, so one area that I'm going to have to look into if I want to do an extended chronicle of this would be to figure out combat.
So I guess damage would be success margin +2 for the pistol, because the pistol's +2.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
And then back down to the enemies. Yeah, so and then they don't have any like damage pool on these bad guys either. So I'm thinking that you hit them and it just takes them out. Would kind of make sense.
Yeah.
If they haven't provided anything,
Yeah, I don't... Like, all that we have on here is, like, it's a table for rolling to see who gets tossed at you. We have a name with their age, their attack, which I'm thinking is their attack dice, their weapons, one roll, oh, here.
well, they do have health. Blast.
Okay, so, no, the one roll column on here is the difficulty when applying one roll rules. And then there are resonance and some flavor text. So, yeah, we're right. So, the one with the assault rifle was a difficulty 4, and we just shifted it. Yeah, so health is stamina +3, but we don't even have that on here. So, I am going to say that these are just kind of like one-shot chumps. They take the damage, they're going down one way or another. And then at that point, you can do whatever you want with them, feed from them, kill them.
Well, what does the last one do? The one who dropped her weapon?
In what way?
Well, so like the way that this all plays out, she's commanded to drop her weapon. She
Yeah.
doesn't understand why she just did that, and then her 2 friends get shot. And now she's just standing there with 3 angry vampires in front of her.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess when it's her turn, we would see whether she is able to run or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Alright, so both of you hit your targets. The one with the pistol and the one with the stake. So we're going to say that they're out of commission, one way or another, however you want to do it. And then that leaves the one that has just dropped her weapon still standing. And at this point, you would see a look of fear in her eyes as her two partners kind of scream out at being shot. So would you say that someone who's been dominated to drop her weapon would be able to pick it up?
I'm not sure how long after being compelled that they'd do the
I
opposite.
believe it's considered one scene. I don't
she's
particularly know how long one scene is, though.
Yeah, so that's still within this. Alright, so... I hate combat.
Me too.
What would you like to do with the last one standing?
I want to approach her.
Well, Sam would come to his feet slowly, approach her, and then try to feed.
Rain would approach the van, see if you can find anything inside that might be useful to what they're doing.
I'll help with that, actually.
Alright. Okay, so yeah. Sam walks up to her. She's still kind of...
Like, I imagine she'd probably be scared or stunned or frightened or something.
Yeah.
It might be... Like, I don't know if I, in that situation, would try to pick my gun up again because there's two guns trained on me. Like, I'd be like, okay, I give up.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll say that she's just kind of standing there. She's... you see her hands kind of clench and open as she is almost rooted to the spot in terror at this point after seeing her partner's gun down and now 3 people who she suspects are vampires standing before her, and after just being commanded to drop her weapon. It would be probably quite the mental overload.
Mm-hmm.
So as you get up and start moving towards her, she doesn't up and run. So then you go in for the feed?
Yeah, I swoop in, do the and get my point of hunger back.
Yeah, and for the people who are listening at home, there is sound effects.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, you go in for the drink. Now you have a choice to make, whether you drain her completely, which would knock you down to, I think, 0 hunger, or just enough to kind of put her down.
Well, so actually, I want to keep her alive and conscious. I don't just want to put her down. Because after presuming I can regain my 1 hunger, keep her alive and conscious, bring her into the back of the van, tie her up, and then get some information.
Sure. Yeah, and then the other 2 are heading towards the van itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so as you walk there, the doors are still open from how they were left. And as you pass by, in the front seat, you see a bunch of junk food wrappers and whatnot, kind of littering the floorboards. And as you get to the back, you go around the doors and you look in and you see surveillance equipment from bottom to top. You have digital recorders, video, sound, like boom type recorders that you see in movies that are like a dish that you can point and kind of gather more sound.
Mm.
Don't know what those are called off the top of my head.
Just listening equipment.
Yeah. There's monitors, there's different kind of tripods with like spotting scopes on them, tied up against the wall. And then in the center is a a laptop on a desk.
Ooh, van desk.
Snatch that laptop.
So we've hit the jackpot, guys.
Should one of us go tell the one that drove us here?
Why don't we just take the van to them?
Yeah, that we could probably do that. Considering I didn't blow out the tire.
Were you going to?
I just didn't want them to get away. I didn't expect him to go down in one shot.
And these guys are supposed to be scary. Ha! What a
Yeah,
bunch of
that's
fucking
why I
clowns.
was confused.
Yeah, so Sam will actually collect that assault rifle, sling it to his back, and I guess we'll reconnoiter with our driver while we go through the van and its contents. And Sam is going to interrogate their prisoner.
Yeah, so she's a little bit woozy at this point after just being fed upon. She snaps out of it after a minute or two and starts to get a little belligerent, calling you nasty names.
So I guess what Sam is going to do is try to do what he did before and just compel her to tell him what he wants to know.
Okay. We'll get you to roll for that one, I think. Well. Yeah. Yeah.
So is it still difficulty 2 now that she's all broken and stuff? Or?
Yeah. I think so.
I failed.
Reroll using your willpower is always an option.
I don't know how that works.
So you see the two little reactions at the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
If you hover over one of them, it should tell you what the willpower reroll is. I'm not sure which one it is.
How does the willpower pool work? Like, how often does that recharge, or does it?
Every scene, you get some that recharges.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll use willpower to.
You
succeed.
also get some of it back after resting a day,
Yeah.
I believe.
All right.
Yeah, so you are able to get whatever information you want from her.
Well, no, I mean, yeah. So I'm responding to help. I wouldn't say I'm not compelling her to tell me what I want to know. I'm using compel to like, tell me your name. Who are you? Who do you work for? Tell me where you are from. Or is that still too blunt of a thing? Or can I compel her to be compliant? Would that be more of a? Yeah, I guess that would make more sense.
Yeah, answer what I want to know. Kind of deal.
Compel her compliance.
And she complies to your compelling.
I'm not reading about it in the book.
Alright, so what do you want to ask her? What do you want to find out?
I would like to know who she works for.
Who do you work for? Yeah, so she tells you that she is with the Inquisition. She is on leave from the U.S. government right now.
can she tell me anything about the warehouse that we're looking for?
She says that there is no warehouse.
Okay. Why is she following us?
She goes on to explain that they were told that some new vampires were picked up the night before, and that they were to deal with them.
Who told you?
I don't know, just our bosses.
Who are your bosses?
I don't know, they don't tell us. We've never met them. We are just a small cell. It's all very compartmentalized.
How do you communicate with them?
Via cell phone.
I'm gonna search around for their cell phone, I guess.
You wouldn't find it. But she would start to be a little bit more cooperative, hopefully being able to get out of this. And gives you the name of one of the other guys that were gunned down already, and that it's on him.
Okay. We'll collect that, I guess. What do you guys think? Any other questions we could ask?
Well, just remember that you are here for a video of the group of you.
Right.
And I'm not sure if you've been around to the back of the truck yet, but there is like a whole shit ton of surveillance equipment with the laptop as well in the back.
Yeah, right. I assume that they're surveilling us, but
Yeah.
I also assume that there's more, unless you're trying to say that this is it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much saying that this is it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the information that you were given wasn't totally accurate. There may be a warehouse, but this group does not know of it. This is their little world here.
Oh, alright.
It does look like that we have everything.
Mm-hmm.
For all that surveillance equipment and that laptop. Is it actually on, or is it just like...
It would be sleeping.
I would presume that the SI woman would be able to get into it. And show us
Yes.
what we needed.
Yep.
Alright, then that... Did somebody pick up the laptop already?
I did.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
sorry. Sorry. Obviously Emma wanted that laptop.
So our goal then was to recover the materials of us and bring it back to the Camarilla.
Essentially, yep.
Okay. And I've got the cell phone to contact the Anarchs, right?
Yes.
All right. Then this is what I propose to my companions who are fans of the Anarchs. That we...
Fanarchs.
The Fanarchs. That we hand over the survivors to them, because that'll be valuable for them in terms of, information and knowing a little bit about the Second Inquisition. Maybe they can find use for them. Gain points for all of us. Turn the rest of this over to the Camarilla. We make everyone happy.
Makes sense.
So
I don't
playing
like
all
it.
sides.
I don't like having to work with these pricks, but I can't think of anything better.
Jay.
I think we should repay the people who housed us with some
That's-
sort of information.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
he
my bad, then.
gestures. He gestures to the survivor. It's like, there's a,
right,
bounce
okay.
of information here. They can, I don't know, infiltrate the organization, or I don't know how any of that works.
Sure. Okay.
Give them leverage.
Yeah, so having her or the other Inquisitor there with you, you'd be able to get the password for the laptop out of her with no issue. Jay, being the computer whiz that she is, would be able to navigate through the hard drive to find exactly what you wanted to find. There's a bunch of questionable videos on there. A lot of it just looks like surveillance on random people doing random stuff. Nothing that really screams vampire. When you do get to the part where you've seen the little snippet of before, yeah, it kind of shows everything that you went through when you were woken up, all the way up to leaving the restaurant itself. It starts off a little bit before that with a bunch of people bringing in your corpsed or staked corpses. So you are like pretty much dead in their arms as they bring you into that freezer. And then you can see them setting up the body, which was already dead from, or hanging on the hook, as well as the pieces of meat. Then at that point, they get you all in a position, and they remove the stakes, leave the room, and close the door behind them. And then a few minutes later, you see on one of the feeds Parker getting brought into the restaurant. And he kind of looks pretty nervous, like first day on the job, kind of nervous. And then on one of the other feeds a few minutes afterwards, you see the three of you start to rouse from being unstaked and get up, and then you see everything that you experienced at that point. So they had quite a bit on you. So then now you are going to take the van back with the live prisoner. Are you taking the other two bodies with you, or going to leave them there?
And we should
Let's
put them,
take them with,
yeah, dump them in the van.
I was going to suggest that we dump them all in the van, take the evidence or whatever it is that they have on us, like on our person. Call up the Anarchs, tell them, hey, thanks for all your help. You'll find something over in this alley. And then we get back in our limo and go back to Camarilla.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, yeah, so that pretty much plays out exactly as you want. I'm going to do something real quick here.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Obviously, she wants to play too.
Vampire dog.
Yeah.
You can ghoulify a dog.
Yeah, I say that she's my ghoul. Both of them. And the cats. Holly, who's been suspiciously quiet through all of this. I don't know if you can see her down there. The unofficial Law by Night mascot.
Oh.
She's
Nice.
cute.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, you head back. Do you hit up the Anarchs first, or...
Well, so I just give them a call. I don't actually. So like my thinking is, and I rationalized this with the party before getting back in the limo because the driver ghoul is not on our side. That we don't want to necessarily be seen by these people helping out the Anarchs, even if that is what you choose to go with. So I just call them up and let them know where they can find our token of appreciation. without letting the Camarilla know what I've done.
Basically, because you were given a separate phone, or at least the number for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they gave me a flip phone. So I just like call them up on my flip phone. I'm like, hey Anarchs, what's up?
You've actually got it there as a prop. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sage put her number into your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you call her up and give her the information as to what's going down, she would ask you to hand the phone over to Rain.
I hand the phone over to Rain.
So,
And she starts to say, so when are you going to be coming back to the bar? We have someone here that would like to meet you.
who? What?
Sires.
Yes, the Sires.
I don't think Rain would be able to cock that, though.
Right now, we'll just call them an interested party.
He won't respond, forgetting to respond because he's just shocked.
And then you hear a click as the phone goes dead.
He'll hand the phone back.
What was that about?
Someone wants to meet me.
Ah.
Are you gonna meet your dad too?
I think so.
Could be his mom. You don't know.
I
Could
mean,
be.
yeah, I guess.
Blood mummy or blood daddy.
And at that point, we'll call that the session.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Good job. Thank you. Congratulations.
That went off really well.
Yeah.
The end was kind of hacky, but
Ah, it was fun.
I mean,
Good,
I wouldn't
that's-
have. It would have been more antagonistic. Obviously, you can't use that kind of dominate to get information, but very persuasive and intimidating, and probably would have tortured it a little bit. So it could have faded to black to getting all information that we
yeah.
wanted.
Yeah. Through careful diplomacy, you would have
Sure.
been able to get what you wanted.
Yeah. Diplomacy.
Yeah, back alley diplomacy, as it were.
That's what Sam learns in the Middle East. Diplomacy.
Rain was just beating the shit out of him.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Jay set up to do any kind of the Malkavian stuff?
You mean?
Do you have points in all specs?
Yeah. 2 points in aspects.
Yes.
Ooh.
It's just none of that would have helped us in that circumstance. I mean, heightened senses might have, but sense the unseen, probably not.
Yeah.
You could have smelt the fear in their sweat.
Oh
Yep.
boy.
No, too far. You scared him too much.
That's not sweat, that's urine you smell.
Yeah, and then she has Dominate as well, like Cloud Memory. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of reading to kind of get used to this 5th edition. Like I was saying before, I come from a revised background, so there are some changes. Though, I do like the blood dice, or the hunger dice. I think
I'm
it's...
admittedly not a fan.
No?
Why's
I-
that?
I miss the blood pool.
Fair enough. Well, it's like blood pool, but in reverse.
I know, that's why I don't like it.
Yeah, it kind of adds that a little bit more of a gamey factor into your rolls, I find.
A constant reminder that you're toying with a beast.
Yeah.
You use your powers, you're acknowledging that you're a vampire.
Yeah, and it's a lot of times it could be random. So thoughts as a whole on the starter set, the character sheets, the game, the new 5th edition?
I really like these sheets, like the way that they're all set out. Very helpful for the new time player.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had it actually when I was reading V5 for the first time.
Yeah, I really like the sheets too. V20 is a bit overwhelming, but I just dove in head first when I first started learning it. So switching from that to V5, I'm a little underwhelmed, especially with the merits and flaws system, but that's fine. I'm not bitter. But no, it's a good system. It's an accessible system, which is nice. It's nice that you can get newer players into it, people coming from like 5th edition D&D, where it's, similar-ish. And you're not going to immediately overwhelm them with lore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't overwhelm you with rules either. The starter kit, because I started reading through the actual book, and there are more rules.
Yeah.
So it builds up on it. It does get a little bit more complex.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole another realm of the whole feeding thing that isn't even addressed.
Resonances and stuff.
Yeah.
Predator types.
Yeah.
That too.
How you would feed and the rolls that you would make.
Yeah. I was reading all that. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have that up? No, not yet. Yeah, having the starter set made it easier to get into. Some of the layout of it is... I think the whole V5 layout is a bit problematic at times. But it was kind of hard to keep on track as to where to go in the set itself. Like, there's some information here, there's some information there. Read this block, but this pertains to 2 paragraphs up ahead, and that took a little bit to kind of get back and forth. But aside from that, it wasn't too bad to get through. I kind of like the one-roll conflict resolution, because in a game where you're more into like the RP and social and political aspect, getting bogged down with combat is not something I want to do. So being able to go into a situation where within 3 rounds you have a good sense of how things are going to play out and they're quick to get to makes it a little bit easier to deal with the combat itself, I think.
Sure.
Versus like round after round after round after punching minions and whatnot, and having to track stuff like advantage and crap. It makes the physical conflict a little bit quicker and easier, so you can actually get back to what you really want to do.
And with that, guys, I really gotta get going.
Okie doke.
Great. Thank you for stopping by, so we'll get all this wrapped up now.
Doodles.
See ya.
Yeah, so our cameras are going to get mucked up here in a moment.
Okay. See you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was
See
fun
ya.
playing.
Yeah,
Likewise. Doodles.
Okay, let's get this sorted quickly. Alright, so I would like to thank everybody for tuning in again to our second session of Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Yeah, all in all, it was a fun dive into it. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a while, because getting the new experiences for the new system was fun. Oh, no, that is not right.
The cameras, you mean, not the thing you just said.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, the cameras I'm just trying to quickly tweak up. They're going to be messed up shapes, but I am okay with that right now.
Yeah, mate, I'm just wrapping up. It's okay.
Yeah. And bonk. Right, so, yeah, thank you everyone who was tuning in live and able to help us with some of the rules. That always comes in handy, because it saves me from floundering around and trying to find stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Elton.
Yeah. Yeah, so next week there is not going to be a stream. It is my daughter's birthday coming up, so we're going to go do birthday things as she turns 15.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Sometimes she actually does watch this, I think. So, even though I try, it's like, what are you doing? Nothing. Why don't you read? Yeah, I guess. We got a bunch of RPG books out there you might like. Check out Vampire. You might like that one. No dice yet. No, she hasn't picked up on it, so.
I'm sure she will.
I'm hoping so. Yeah, so next week there won't be one, and then the week after, I'm still deciding what I want to do. I have a one-shot of Monster of the Week on the books, and honestly, I got 2 weeks to be able to scrounge through and figure out how to play that game. So I may run that, and then after that, I've got nothing scheduled, but I am looking at starting up 2 campaigns on stream. They'll be bi-weekly campaigns, so every second week, kind of alternating. And I will be looking for players. I think at this time, I'm probably going to run a campaign of Vampire, 5th edition, as well as Soulbound by Cubicle 7, which is their new Age of Sigmar role-playing game. So if anybody is interested in checking those out, I do have a Discord set up for the server, which is in chat right now, and it will also be in the show notes once this gets posted to Facebook. Not Facebook. YouTube. That's the one. And then, I should have had this automated, but I'm going to pull up the Discord invite quickly for the Lore by Night podcast server, because we are all awesome fucking people there.
Yeah, you're all great. I love you all.
Yeah, everyone there is actually pretty fantastic, and a bunch of the people watching this live are from the channel, so it was great to have them tune in and listen to our, that's weird, our shenanigans here. So then the one that just popped in is for the Lore by Night podcast server.
For goodness sake, dog. Sorry.
She is down for this.
Yes, Em was saying join the Lore by Night Discord server.
Yeah, she knows how to answer that one. Yeah, so if you have liked what you've seen, give the Twitch channel a quick follow to be informed of when we go live next. As well, later on down the road, I will have this posted to YouTube, which I'll have spammed everywhere. I don't have a quick reference invite as of yet. Do I have it set in here? No, I don't. But when we click over to the end stream, there is the link there as well. If you want to follow that, give that a subscribe. Everything that you can do along those lines helps the channel, as well as we have the subscriptions for the Twitch channel as well. So I am going to stop talking there and I'll let the other two kind of say their piece for who they are, what they do, where you can find them, and anything else that they have coming up. So I'll start with the Lore by Night guy.
That would be me. As it's mentioned a few times now, I run a podcast called Lore by Night that discusses, unravels all the mysteries and origins of the various meta-plot, laws and characters of Vampire the Masquerade. It's a weekly podcast, releases a new episode on Thursdays, 6 p.m. GMT. On anywhere that you would listen to podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Like if you listen to a podcast somewhere, it's probably going to be on there. I also pretend that I'm in charge of the Lore by Night Discord server, but really it's run by my amazing mods, for which our wonderful storyteller is one of them, and Helton. I'm told it's one of the nicest places to be if you're into the World of Darkness, which is just lovely. It's a lovely little happy family. I can also be found on the Twitters and Instagram. On Twitter, it's Lore by Night VTM, all one word. And on Instagram, it's law_by_night_VTM. And that's me.
Awesome. And for those of you who are, or for those that are listening right now, you got to do the thing. No pressure now.
None whatsoever.
Okay, that was all messed up. All right, so Ryan,
What's up?
who are you? What do you do?
I'm Ryan. I play video games and tabletop games. That's it. I'm not a content creator of any kind.
And where can we find you on the internets for your random musings?
I guess Twitter, @Acidic Plague.
And do you have anything else coming up in the near future?
Not that I'm aware of.
Your recording for Carrying Company, is that final discussion released now, or?
What do you mean?
I think wasn't there an end game discussion that y'all did?
I wasn't involved in it.
No.
No.
That was it. Character's dead. I'm out.
Basically. And no, he didn't die. He left. He abandoned the company.
Yeah, I've gotten like 13 episodes in.
Oh. He's still alive. Both of the characters are still alive.
Cool.
I know they're talking about doing a season 2, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Or when it would be. It wouldn't be for a long time.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of other APs to work through first. And that being said, I am Charlotte, the GM/storyteller for all of these games. Well, most of these games that you see on this channel. You can find me online at Foxfyre22. That is FOXFYRE22. Anywhere on like Instagram or Twitter or anywhere else, I'm usually using that name. As I was saying earlier, normally we have a game running every Saturday at 12 p.m. PST, but next week we're going to take a week off for me to do stuff for my daughter's birthday, but then we'll be back at it a week after with Monster of the Week. I'm committing to that now. It is going to be a thing. Just another game that I get to learn. Yeah, so join the Discord server. Stop by, say hi. I do have a sign-up sheet on there if you're interested in being a part of any of our games in the future. Like I was saying, I'm going to be working at doing a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. I'm not sure how long. I'll have to get that worked out. As well as a campaign for Soulbound, the Age of Sigmar RPG from Cubicle 7. And I think that is pretty much about it. There was something I was going to say, but I cannot remember what it was. Oh, if you want to see anything else that I'm in recently, we have our Cult Actual Play podcast getting released every 2 weeks on Mud and Blood Podcast. You can find them anywhere that podcasts can be found. That is Mud and Blood Podcast. We are 3 episodes into the Cult game. We are actually recording our final episodes tomorrow, which will be released in like a half year's time. So that is a good, fun run. So, thank you all for tuning in. I will stop rambling, and I will see you next time.